I'm going to open a window. Hello, Tanya. Good morning. Oh, you entered, and then I saw 20, 23 people. Well, people. Who knows? Well, 23. I know. I had to open a bit the window because it's actually very, I don't know, should I bring a bit of daylight? I don't know if it's okay, if you can see me well. Can you see me well? Hello, Draculaura. Again, the quality is awful. It's because I'm with the other phone, but it's because this phone has my data. So in case the internet starts acting wild again, I can turn on the data. Um, this is why the quality probably is not the same. But I do feel like a sort of glow, like in here. I don't know. I don't know if you can see it. Good morning. No, no, Draculaura, no. This is the usual. This is the, I mean, the usual. The last couple of months, I believe we had been here in this room. Could it be like 2 months ago that I started like recording? I mean, because I go through so many changes. It's not that I change place here, but I do change the table or the the initially I had this table. I had it here in front of the window that I have here. You see that I have daylight. Um, and that it was nice because actually I got the daylight. I didn't have to turn on any kind of artificial lights nor anything. But the thing that I would notice that it would get prettier when it would get dark. So even though the natural lighting is better to film, maybe you can guys can see me better, like more natural. But I think that it doesn't have that mood, that mood, that special something that you have to have. I'm not saying like mysticism, but we are reading cards here, so it has to be like special, like it has to have a certain vibe, um, and and not just like me being in a random room. Um, you know. Hey, Fluffy. I'm going to have breakfast in front of you guys because I woke up late. Yesterday there was like a very heavy storm. So I don't know. Um, I don't know what um, um, how it was going to affect, because there were some, some movements of some trees falling. It was heavy. It was pretty heavy. It was pretty intense. So I didn't know how it was going to go here in the morning, if it was going to keep raining, if it was going to keep floating, because I did have a bit of water entering the room, uh, but not so much, but it did enter a bit. Um, mhm. Thank you. Thank you for joining anyway, Fluffy. Thank you so much. Mm. Ah, okay. Yes, again, and I think that I don't know. I believe we're going to have some of these kind of things. Like we're going to have it, pretty often because um, yesterday and the day before, we had like a temperature, and we are just starting like spring, and we had a temperature of nearly 28 um, Celsius degree, which is a lot. You know that weather like that level of heat is not for a spring season. It's more like for the summer. So I guess summer is going to come very hot, very hot. That's why I did open a bit of the window. If no one is shouting or anything, I think we're going to be fine. But because I was a bit like, I shouldn't have worn a sweater, first of all. But um, also it's very weird because it's not like you can wear a t-shirt with short sleeves, but at the same time you you have to wear something lighter because it's a bit humid. Mm. How is the spring going when it comes to your allergies? Um, I have good days and not so much. This week, before we had these 2 days that they were really hot, um, before those days, um, I believe in when Wednesday was it that I wasn't home. I started the day, having a strong headache, but it's the kind of headache that for me it represents allergies because I feel like I usually don't have headaches. But this one is more like here, and it's like, like when you want to sneeze so bad, you have it seems like you have it here but you can't. Well, that's how I felt. And you feel very like it's all constipated here. So yeah. But yeah, about the new place, the new room, we probably will be there if everything goes well, guys. And I believe the internet is going to work better upstairs because I went over there with my phone and it works. I don't know if it's going to be perfect or not. I'm going to try to use it, figure it out, just like I do now, just in case I have certain problems. I'm going to have the daytime so I don't get interrupted, but that's not, you know, there shouldn't be, a necessity because actually, like, I have been doing live streams for how many years is it? Almost 3. And I done the live streams in every corner of my house, except my dad's house. Um, so I don't know what is it. I don't know. I think that there must be something going on either with the provider or there must be some cable or something that is not well. It's just that it takes forever for them to come, for the technicians or the technic guys to come to see. It takes forever. Like they really do. It's not like I call them and they come in, I don't know, um 48 hours. No, it takes forever. And you call them and they don't pick. They don't answer. I was discussing with my mom how summer is going to be crazy with the UV heat. Yes, I have some feeling when I discover allergies this week too. Lots of pollen. Oh, you're upstairs? No, 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 no. I was answering to Draculaura because she was like, "Okay, are we in the new room that you mentioned that I show you the pictures of the separation that we're building another wall." The separation, this one is not going to go to the roof because it's very heavy. It's a very heavy brick. So the picture that I sent you guys, that is like the middle of the space, the wall, is going to be bricks, and then I'm going to put some wood material of like to cover until the ceiling, because it's very heavy. Even though we don't have a very strong and stable um, ceiling. It's very strong. It's very well made. It's not made of of metal, nor no. It's meant of concrete. It has this also, again, like this big, I don't know how you guys call it, but the ceiling is pretty safe. But I feel it like, for that to be like, just to separate the rooms, to create, because the room was very large. This is why I had a bit of echo every time I would talk. When I was upstairs, I would talk, and it would resonate very weird. I would hear it. Maybe you guys wouldn't notice, but I would hear that it would echo, because the room was very empty. It was large and it was empty. So we created this wall to make like a separation in the middle. So I will have, like, the parts where I enter, it's a different part. And then the one that I'm going to be, with these same things, I'm going to be bringing, again, the desk. I'm going to be bringing the chair, everything. I'm going to have to move everything upstairs once again. Um, but I don't know. I'm praying that it's not that hot, um, upstairs, because that was an issue for me. That's why, I came downstairs, because I had the AC. And I do have an AC upstairs. It's just that it's like, yeah, I don't know how you guys say, is like portable. Portable, I don't know. For us, it's portable, we say it, like it's like a device with wheels. It's not like the typical AC that you have, the engine or the motor that you have it like outside the house, the huge box that is like installed outside the house. No, this one is like a small device that is pretty strong, but it has like the motor in it. So, and it comes with a hose that you have to attach to a window, or some kind of, especially a window is mostly, so it can, take out all the heat. Um, and but it's so noisy. I think that that was one of the reasons why I wouldn't use it when I was upstairs and I couldn't sleep, because it was so noisy. But what I was thinking is that before I start a live stream, or I start working upstairs, um, I will have, I will, I will, turn it on and leave it there to cool the office, to cool it. And then I'm going to close the door and try to see if it, if the cold remains in there. You've been doing live streams for only 3 years. I feel like it has been so much longer, but you must be right. Yeah, because yeah, I believe I started in 2022. The channel I started it in 2021. In 2022 of, I believe it was, again, January, February because it was summer of my time in my area. It was 2022. It's just that we, Fluffy, we have history. I have so many live streams. I do have playlists. I created it, as the years pass. I try to, put them all together. And the live streams are somehow, and also I have series of readings, dynamics, and others that I done on live streams, that those are also on another playlist. So I used to do live streams a lot, and they were long, and they were so good. Like, yesterday I was rewatching one that I came up with. I don't know what I was looking for. I think that I was looking if I read for a certain person before, an idol in Libra season, and I found the person, the idol, in the list or in the timestamps. So I stopped just watching, because in that Libra season reading, I also was doing how do they flirt, but for girl groups. And it was so nice, so interesting, and it was when I was upstairs, yes, because I recognized the room. Um, and it was last year around this time, same time, but last year. Yes, I'm glad you decided to keep going with the live streams. Yeah, for me, I feel like it's, I don't know, I feel like it goes perfectly with it's more authentic. Like, we can talk, and I can, do the readings, and just organize it. But I know that I don't have to rush, to record a reading. It's not like a 10-minute video, or it's, it has more spontaneity, because everything that it happens today, is in the live stream. So I think that it adds a bit much more of personality. And probably people that don't know me, and that they are, interested in me, or in what I do, they can watch, our conversations, and you can agree and disagree, of course. Maybe I'm not the style of some people, so people are like, oh, she's annoying, she talks all the time. But yeah, that's how I do, is my live stream. It's my YouTube channel. um, and also it's my community. I don't um, I deliver first for the fans, and then for my community, because it's my community, the ones that submit the recommendations, the ones that give me feedback, the ones that take a moment to be here. So, I listen to my community, because I do have one. Um, and I'm proud of my community. So this is why I'm not just a random tarot reader that, I just read for K-pop and see, what appears, or like, oh, anything that you ask, I'm going to pull the cards. No, no, I never was that kind of person, and I don't think I'm going to be, because I also do love, what they do. So I'm not ignorant to, how this works, fandoms and everything. Yes. But I think that you're going to love it upstairs. I'm going to add, different. Um, I'm going to bring like what you see here, but probably I'm going to change a few colors. So let's see if you like it. Let's see if you like it, guys. Um, but also, because I'm going to be working some days remote, and I was thinking, I don't know if that usually we know that Sundays I do at 10 um, at 10 a.m. morning, my time here today. The Sundays are always at 10 a.m. And I was thinking about trying um, to do Wednesdays at 10 a.m. as well. I don't know what you guys think. Is that a good time for you guys, or is it very early? Because because if I do the live stream in the morning, maybe it's going to be quieter. Like, I'm thinking also about um, if it gets if it gets very humid upstairs. Maybe if I start early, it's not the sun is not going to hit that much in the roof. It's not going to be like, I think that at 2 p.m. my time is when the sun is, at the highest point, and it also is like, it um it reflects directly on my building. In the mornings, it's a bit on the shadows. It's a bit, it's like on the other side. It's pointing somewhere else, and then it turns, and at 2 p.m. after 12, it begins to. Mm, okay. For me, it's really depends if I'm home or not. Okay. I usually can stay longer for Wednesdays, as it's, but okay. Uh huh. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. as it's like 3 a.m. But today I could. Yeah, because what I have to do when I have to connect and do work, I can do it like on the morning, on then later. It depends. Like I can manage that myself. Um, and I think that is going to be Wednesdays and Fridays. So Wednesdays and Fridays I'm going to be home, but working from home. Um, I also had to get a new computer and everything because I do have to bring certain files to my house. Um, and probably I will have some Zoom meetings or something. But in that case, I do have the headsets, and everything for calls because remember when I used to do the interpretation that I didn't last that long in the to be an interpreter. Remember, guys, that I had that was an awful experience for me working from home when I had that interpreter from of English, Spanish. It was awful. It was like, oh, I don't recommend that for anyone. Like for me, I was very stressed. But I do have, the headset that I bought back then, and that is very useful for calls, or if I have classes to listen. Off topic, but I started going to walks on the. I don't go out. Oh, do you see? Did you see? Do you see? Did you see Draculaura? I'm going back tomorrow if that's okay. But I'm not. It's just that I cannot make it because the thing is that I can go after I come back from the school, but at around that time, it's like it would be like after lunch break for some people, so there's no one. And honestly, like my neighborhood is not the 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 place is nice, the park, but is when it's isolated, it's a bit weird. It gets a bit weird. This is why, if you go early in the morning like I used to, it's better. Hot days, the hot weather, it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel bad. So I guess I'm going to have to do it at home. But it changed me completely. I recommend it. In my case, I didn't lose weight, but I felt lighter and I felt better. Um, I'm using, the other day that I couldn't, move my foot that much because it still hurt. I started using my stationary bike that I had over there, and I actually got a good 20 to 30 minutes, and I felt very productive. I felt good. So also now that I have this small there, I also have a bit of space here, so I can put like the yoga mat. Do you guys want me to open this? Do you see me better, or I don't know if you guys can see me better with the daylight? Now we're starting. I put the data just in case. My neighborhood is quite peaceful as everyone is going on morning walks with their dogs. Yeah, I also run into people like that. It's just that I have that. I don't know what is it. That is such is a certain glow. I don't know if it's the light. Wait, wait. Now it gets darker. But now it gets, now it's darker. No, it's so dark. It's so dark. Wait, guys, I'm going to turn on this one again. Sorry, guys. No, daylight is a no-no. At least not from this side. Is a no-no. But I'm going to keep it open. No, daylight is a no-no in here. Sorry, guys. Libra season is like Libra season is getting me all like this. I don't know if it happens to you, but I'm all about movement and changing and adapting. I don't know. I feel, but yeah, I feel happier that my toe is better, guys, because it hurt. It hurt so much. Like I never had that experience, so I don't recommend it on anyone. No, it was. I think that is like something about. I did clean the lens of the camera, so I don't know. I'm lucky to have not to walk too long to be in nature outside. I saw the town I live. I prefer to be on my own and not see anybody or go and walk with somebody else. Yes. And I don't know if you noticed, I have the cloth, the new cloth. Um, I'm having like I love it. I mean, she done a great job. She gave me also this bag that in here I have the other deck. It's so cute. And this also came with a purple bag. So I don't know. Do you guys like this color? This is a bit of champagne, and it has the name of the channel, of course. But then look on the other side. Look at this color. Do you like this color? Which one? Because I can turn it. Not now, but um, I'm like, she chosen this for me because actually I wanted a pink one, a light pink, and she was like, I have like a lilac one that I like so much. And I was like, okay. Sorry. Since I didn't have, like, I said pink because I was like, okay, I had the green. That for me, the green is more for the winter in my season. So I was like, I want a feminine color. And she was like, convinced me. She was like, oh, the lilac is better. Um, Maybe because probably the pink one, it would be, this is one that I have that is from another place that I bought. This is a pink also. This is a pink color, but if you notice in the camera, you cannot see it very well. Sometimes it depends. It looks like if it's white, so it doesn't appreciate that much. The other color is a bit like yellowish. It's like champagne. It has some golden details. um it's a bit yellowish. Probably in here you cannot see it very well, but when I move upstairs, maybe with the lighting, you will be able to appreciate more the champagne color. But maybe this side I can use, to put to do the pictures of the readings, and this one I can use here. I'm always team green. Yeah, yeah. We can see colors properly because of the comments. Yes, yes. The green is powerful. It's like, oh, it's so I love that color. But I was thinking for this season, let's give it a bit of rest, and then I'm going to bring it back. Um, I don't know why. I don't know why, but I felt like, I done a lot of readings with it. Um, and since it's like velvet, it's very sensitive. I usually for some live streams I use it from this side, not the velvet part. But it's like very sensitive. Sometimes my cats do like step on it, and I'm trying for them not to. Um, but they don't. They do it when I'm not home. They enter and they sleep on it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that with the cards, the purple, like you could, if the cards would stand out more. I think that is less complicated. This part, the part that is not velvet, because the velvet is very like sensitive. It's very sensitive. I don't know if you can see. You see that it's better. But in here it also like, yeah, it's just that it's the background that you cannot see me. It's too bright today, and I honestly I blame it on the camera. It's the phone. It's the phone that it's a bit weird. The I don't know how to fix it. I will have to look for the phone to see, because it is a different definition of image. It's not the same. It's not the same light, because I never had to adjust the ring light. Never. See, if I it's like it's a bit like weird. Just tell me yes or no. Should I get an iPad as a self birthday gift? Uh, I mean, the Queen of Wands. Somehow it's like, be brave, be a bit egotistical. If not, I wouldn't advise you to spend, something that you don't have. But I think that maybe, there's an independence, or there's something that this device can give you, or make you feel more confident about certain tasks, or you using it makes you feel better. So I think that the queen is like, go for it, but be brave, face the consequences. This is a bold move. So if you're going to do it, you have to go fearless. But at the same time, the Queen of Wands is like, yeah, pamper yourself. Like, if it makes you feel better, or if it makes you feel more secure, or if it's pretty. I know it sounds superficial, but the Queen of Wands is like, you deserve it. The Queen of Wands is that friend that is like, you go and do it. Should I buy a new phone? Eight of Pentacles. For you, is a bit more strict. I'm sorry, but the Eight of Pentacles is like, somehow is like, work to save the money, probably. It cannot be as simple as, okay, I'm just going to buy it, and then I will see how I'm going to pay it, or then I will see what I'm going to do. It's more like focus on the details and work harder. It comes with hard work. It comes with hard work. I mean, it doesn't say that you cannot have it. It's just that it's like, maybe, get an extra job or work more hours, work extra hours, save, maybe save, like somehow, be more diligent. Like, okay, I have this money that I usually spend for this. No, I'm going to save it for my phone. So, it's be much more, you know, detail oriented. Oh, it's not that spontaneous. And probably then, as you are doing that, you're going to start to think like, is it worth it? Do I really need it? Should I pay my rent this month? I think that you should pay your rent. What do you mean? Okay, now that we are in Libra season, I have here the oracle of the Spanish keywords that I had pulled my card for Libra season. I have so I'm going to pull one for you, because for you all, because I did it for Virgo season, I believe. So let's see for Libra season, what is the keyword for the month. Let's see. For whoever wants to receive it, you can have this sort of, this phrase on mind and maybe work on this. I believe this one we had this card that is to discriminate. Well, it's in Spanish. It says discernir. It's in Spanish. For the Spanish people speaking here, discernir. But yeah, in English, it's like discriminate. So this sounds very Virgo still. This sounds very Virgo experience still. But probably, since we are talking about, accessories and things that we want to acquire and things that we want to look, prettier, or that would make us feel better, like I feel it like in the air that we are a bit much more like outgoing, or maybe we are like, oh, maybe I should do this for me. I always wanted to do this. And now I feel like I want to do this, or I want to connect more with my body, with my health, and I want to get this treatment. It feels, everything is like a possibility. And it's very tempting. I can feel it, that is very tempting. It's not negative, it's not a bad choice, but at the same time, the kind of discriminate probably is is somehow preparing us. This is a word that can accompany you through all the Libra season. That is like, learn to discriminate. In moments of doubt, discriminate. Like, learn to separate, learn to separate like the ego, or the when you feel like the rush and you're like, okay, I only live once. I want to do this. I don't care. And maybe the cards are like, just think about the place that you will give this, that you want to enter into your life. Either it's a product, or it's a person, or it's a situation. It's like, discriminate. What is the purpose of this that is about to enter your life? You know, just discriminate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it remains Virgo strictness. Yes, it remains. It remains. Somehow it's like letting us know that, don't relax yet. Just, because I feel it. And I also had, clients that they also feel this, like, oh, this is like a new season. Like I'm feeling like, I'm getting rid of innovations maybe, and I feel better about myself, and I'm excited about some things that I'm starting to appear, um, maybe new relationships. So there's like a lot of like positivity in the air. It feels like maybe it's not going to last forever, but when you're like, well, now it is exactly what I need, or now it feels good. Um, and the cards are like, yeah, yeah, it can, but don't forget that, don't go into deep that fast. Remember that we still have a Scorpio season to go through. Mm. That's great, Dania, to block people. I also do that. Like when I change my number, I do a detox. Yeah, people that I have, from maybe other, either places I studied, or I took courses of different places, or maybe old jobs, and I had this in my contact, and actually I don't talk to these people, so I eliminate them. I eliminate them. Um, I don't know if this is supposed to happen in Libra season, but I have been following a strict schedule for a week, and it has been helping a lot. Yeah, I feel it. I also feel it like this. I started to notice that I don't feel that heavy about following a routine. Maybe in another month, I felt like I was going to interrupt, or I was going to be like, oh, not today or not this week because something else came up. And I feel like now that Libra season is here, I feel it more like, I'm ready. I'm ready to follow, and I'm ready to keep doing it without interruption. And I feel so good about it. I don't know. I feel so good about it. Mm. Kind of like finding pleasure in self-care, the natural evolution of Virgo to Libra. It's not a chore anymore. Yes, yes. I've been so productive because of this, but I still have some fun. Yeah, I also felt it. Um, when I was thinking about going up upstairs, um, and and I was reflecting, even though we had to build certain things, or like a door, and to make this division of the room. But I don't feel as pressured as when we had to do this here. That it was like remodulating the ceiling, the roof. Sorry, painting the walls, and putting. And remember that we had to put like a new floor because this one had like an old floor, that it was in bad condition, so we had to take it out and put like a new ceramics. So everything was like starting from scratch. um, and and on the contrary, upstairs it's sort of already like it's already done, except that maybe the walls are a bit stained because of those well, the winter, and we had some heavy rains that the humidity of the rains and everything, it does leave marks on the wall, especially because I wouldn't go upstairs that often. So if you don't ventilate the place, if you don't open the windows, it gets a bit stuck with the moisture of the rain and everything. um so I felt very, and I feel very like good about going upstairs, because I feel like it's a way of also reclaiming the place, because I had it. I had done live streams. If you go to my live streams, Especially, I believe I started from Leo season. The Leo season live streams still, I believe, a part of November. Um, because then I had Luna, that Luna was sick, remember, and I had to come downstairs because, I was with her and she wanted to climb and she couldn't. So I had to come downstairs to be with her. Um, and but I had like a few months upstairs. The videos, the live streams are like this, and the place is really nice. Yeah, there were moments that there were music. I don't know if you guys remember. There were moments. There was a time that there was my neighbors were like they have a band, a rock band, so they usually always during like the weekends they get together and they play nonstop. And I believe it was someone's birthday. I don't know what it was. They always do this. But since I'm upstairs, it's like, and I do have a strong walls, but it seems like the sound it sort of hits the walls and the windows, and it was. I mean, it didn't interrupt me, but I would hear it loudly. Maybe in the audio you would hear it in the background, but for me, I would hear it very very loud. And I think that also that annoys me, especially because I'm reading cards. And I don't know, I seen certain tarot readers, not from not from America nor Europe, but I seen people from my country that they do these TikTok lives. They are tarot readers, they say. They do these live streams and they have very loud music. They have very loud music while they're reading the cards. And it's not like, like a music that is like, to put on a mood or something like this. No, it's like very like, trendy music, or it's like reggaeton, or it's like, very, uh, if for me, if it lacks professionalism, I don't know. I feel maybe I'm old school, maybe I'm sensitive myself to old, to loud noises. Maybe I'm someone that I'm sensitive about loud noises when I'm reading the cards. Um, so so yeah, maybe it's a me problem that I'm sensitive, or I have gotten sensitive through the years. Um, when I also hear that there's people in my house that when there's my dad's family come over, I also get very anxious because they also talk loudly. And I don't know, I feel like I'm very specific about those things. um Bye, Fluffy. New season, new me. Yes, I'm hypersensitive. My senses, I'm 100% on 24/7. Yes. Um, I don't know. I think that I became also sensitive because I had I had worked um on 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 stores, like retail stores, um, and very bright, and with a lot of music, and also the people's noise, because the crowds also make a noise. And I would always be like, somehow, like, immersed in that noise, in the noise of the crowd, and just talking to people. Oh, then when I would go home, when I would be at home, I would just want silence. I wouldn't want anyone to talk to me. I was so like stressed, and I just needed silence. Um, or I needed to, I don't know, disconnect by, maybe watching a show that I like, or watching content that I like. So because I needed to go back to myself. And I think that I done that for so many years that maybe, this is why for me, also reading tarot and having this space and this moment, this is why for me it's important to be silent, and with this, I don't think like it's like, um oh, let's stay silent and, let's not interrupt. Like, no, it's not like, oh, it's sacred, like, oh, I cannot read cards. If you're playing music, you can read cards, just like the way you want. It's just that for me, I feel it like it's a time in my day, it's a practice, it's a time in my day where I'm able to be with myself, and connect with myself, with the tools, with what I like, with what I know. Um, so for me, it's a moment of um, relaxation. It's a moment of also um, of me being myself, because I think that also, being in front of a camera, interacting and everything, um, I feel it like, if I am this sensitive, so if I am this sensitive to, disorganization, or to, um, just not a good vibe, I think that probably my audience is the same. I feel it like, maybe if you're someone that you are in a rush and you choose, you don't like the way I talk, and you're like, oh, she's taking forever, or like, oh, she always does this. I think that if you cannot stop and take a moment to maybe rewatch, or just stay in the life, or just, if it's not for you, it's because you are looking for that instant. It's like, oh, I'm just here because I want my bios reading. I will skip until the end, or until I see the name. And I also understand that, because I also have biases, and I do that myself. um but um sometimes I'm like, yeah, but you don't know, for some people, maybe this live stream, from beginning to end, is like a moment to connect with themselves. So this is why I never underestimate the audience, because there must be someone that this, or watching this, is like their moment to relax. Just like when I used to, also look for content to in pandemic, or after work, to be able to disconnect, and to be able to go back to myself and center myself, because we live in a very rapid, uh, changeable, um, moment. And now there's talks. You have to close the window, because mm. Okay, guys, I'm going to start, because I don't know how long I'm going to have with the data. So yes, I'm going to start with a reading today for some Libra idols. I do have Sserafim Yunjin. I have Cortis James, WayV Yangyang, EXO Lay, Seunghan. I don't know how to pronounce his new stage name. Is XngHan. How is that pronounced? Um, Seunghan's new stage name is XngHan. I have IVE Gaeul. I have Enhypen Heesung. I have Hanbin, Bangchan, and Ningning. Hello, Panis Pro. Also, I'm starting to get into, I don't know why, but I'm starting to love the girls of IVE. I don't know. I just seen a few variety content of theirs, and I was laughing so much about them, and I was like, oh my god, these girls are so cute. And now I'm loving. So if you are a fan of I, please like send my way some content that I can watch, because I'm sort of like going through. Um, and I'm also going to pull cards, because I'm like, the other day I did watch a video of um of Yunjin, the leader, I believe. Um, Her interaction with this actor, that I believe that the actors are also from Starship. Um, and I don't know, I think that they were so cute, like the Lego guy, the Lego actor. And I was like, I should pull cards to see what is up. I know that he's older than her, of course. Um, but why did I feel like there was a bit of flirting in there? I was like, am I crazy, or is this something going on? Like, she flirts like me, nevertheless. Like, she flirts by attacking. So this is why I'm like, when when she called him Lego, I was like, are you flirting? Because I usually do that with people that I like. But I'm curious. I'm like, they're cute, nevertheless. And she's gorgeous. Like, all the girls in life are beautiful. But I'm starting to get to know all of them, because I know Wonyoung, because everyone had always asked me about Wonyoung, and she's so pretty and she's so beautiful. Definitely, she steals the attention. I mean, she's like very popular. She's everywhere, like her face. Uh, but I'm starting to get to know the girls, and I'm like, oh, they're so cute. Especially there's one, the Japanese member. I believe her name is Ray. Oh my God, she's the cutest. She's like this cute little thing. I'm like, oh, I don't know. I never like. I usually like all girl groups, but with IVE, I only knew one young, and maybe the leader, because some people asked me for her. But I'm like, wow, they are so cute. Okay. What is, oh, oh, I'm going to be pendant then. Okay, I'm going to start with Sserafim Yunjin. Let's see, 2025 for her. Oh, yeah, Momo maybe too. Very nice for Yunjin. I like it. Okay, for Yunjin of Le Seraphim, the High Priestess, Seven of Swords, Six of Swords, sorry, Four of Wands, Four of Pentacles, and Death, the Death card. And then I have the Nine of Pentacles. It says abundance. So she's a very abundant person overall. I think that, is Le Seraphim having a comeback soon? Because I do see celebration. I do see celebration. I think that for her, maybe, the beginning of 2025, I don't know what is going on with the Seraphim, but seeing from her part, the High Priestess and the six of swords, there's something about her sort of remaining a bit, silent, or a bit, maybe, not just, maybe, could it be that they were in sort of hiatus, not hiatus, but there's silence, there's something from her energy that she's like, I'm okay. But yeah, I sort of had to lay low a bit, or maybe, um there were advances, I think, that for her, personally, as a person, but there's also a lot of stillness. There's, I think that maybe now, this later part of the year, you are going to see maybe the girls getting more activities, because I have the four ones in the middle. So definitely she's celebrating something. Maybe she's celebrating more herself. um I see that her life is very stable, and she is very happy. She's very stable. It's just that, the High Priestess and the six is giving me, like, the year started very slow for me, or the year started where we didn't communicate that much, or we weren't on the spotlight that much, or there was a sort of silence about us as a group, or maybe, she wasn't that connected. um but I think that for her, she's a very wise person. She took, if she had like a sort of timeout, or if she had vacations, or there were periods of, like, there was not much for them to do, she actually, like, did her best with that time. I think that she worked on herself. I wonder if she studies like a sort of career or something, because I can sort of see it here. She has been working on herself, or she has been doing things for herself. So this is why she's able to mentally, not get nervous, or not be dependent on the group's activities, or on what the company tells them. She's like, I have my own inner world. I have my own life. I have my own processes. I have been working on myself. I have been taking care of myself. I have been, you know, um, protecting myself also. The High Priestess is very much like, I will just go, remain quiet, and just do me, and I will be okay. Probably not showing off, that much what she does or what she doesn't do. A bit silent, or a bit, secretive, if you will. um, but I think that, finally the exposure it starts to come out here with the fourth one. She's very happy. I think that there's something about her this year, feeling like, I'm happy with the people that I'm with. So maybe there's a celebration coming, or there's like an event that is very important for her, and she's going to be able to shine in there as well. But could it be that someone is getting married, or there's like a big celebration or party? It could be with other people of the company, her colleagues, like somehow like a huge celebration of the artist, and her being part of this. And I feel like the four of wands, it's she has the four of wands and the four of pentacles, so it's like this very stable, um, very vibrant and fun energy. So maybe she's like, I'm like appreciating so much the people that works with me. For the first time, I feel like, at least today, she feels so happy about the people she's associated with, or her teamwork, or her the people that work that are part of the company. The force is like, this is my stability. This is the people that I see every day, or this is the people that I have to meet every day, or I have to see every once in a while. They are part of my stability, and I'm having so much fun with these people, or with this group of people. I'm feeling so passionate, and I'm feeling like I want to go out, and from her coming from the High Priestess and having the four ones here, it means like she's going to go out, or she's going to show more her funny side, or just being more exposed, and just being so vibrant and so happy. There's a celebration coming. There's something coming that probably, if she's part of this, she's going to be radiant. You're going to love her. You're going to love her. I think that, I think that Yunjin is very loved and respected. In maybe it's the company, or maybe it's the environment, or maybe it's her family or her community, or even with the fans. There's a sense that people really like her. People really um, accept her for who she is. And I think that maybe this is the first year that she's like, for once, I don't feel attacked. I don't feel like I have to protect myself. Actually, I feel like, I can go out, or I can say what I want to say, or I can spend time with whoever I want to spend time with. And people are okay with this, or people are not hating anymore. So something changed, something changed. Um, and there's also there's like a desire of hers, with the four of pentacles and the death card. There's a desire of hers to be like, I wish we would always be like this. We would always have these sort of happy vibes, or where I would be feeling like I'm safe, like I'm protected, like, like I'm okay, like everything that I'm doing is okay. Or maybe that the activities that she does is that, those are fun times. Or um but the death card at the minute is giving me a Scorpio season. It's like the Scorpio season coming to somehow end the party, and being like, things cannot remain the same. I know you're having fun, and I know that you love this vibe, you love this environment, um, but change needs to appear. I think that there's something about her like, "Oh, no, I don't want instability again in my life. Like, please, like, I want us to do well." Um, and I don't think that is about her. In this case, I don't think. When I saw these cards, I'm like, this is not about her. Probably this is about the group. The Four of Pentacles and the Death card. Maybe if they have a comeback, or something, people expecting more, or people being like, we've seen this of you already. Like, yeah, you guys, yeah, you do this, but we want something different. It's like, we want you to show us a different side of yourself. It's like, yeah, you're cool, we are cool with you, but maybe the audience is like, we've seen you guys do this, so where is the change, or where is the evolution? Or maybe there's something sorry, there's something about her feeling like they're stuck when it comes to creations, and be like, oh, this again, yeah, it's like, it's safe and it's going to do well, but it's like, it's not it's not that, different. With the force, there's something about playing it safe when it comes to maybe work. And the death card is like, you have to get out of these four walls, literally. You have to get out of stability, because she has so much potential. She has so much potential. And the death card at the last card is like, has she done a solo work before? Because the Nine of Pentacles, abundance, but the Nine of Pentacles is also giving me solo work. The abundance is in her exploring her own potential, maybe going solo. Like, not abandoning the group. It's like, what about a solo of Yunjin? What about, more individual activities for her? Because she's very, she has the energy, people like her, she has the personality. So the cards are like, you have to get out of doing always the same. You can do more. And I think that she will do more. Maybe there's a change coming, there's a change of plans, there's something coming, but I think that, independence for her is a must. And we're talking about Libra. We are talking about a Libra idol. So, when we think about leaving the group, or, oh, I have to do this on my own, oh, I have to go here on my own, she could be a bit like, no, leave me here with the others. I don't want to do this. I don't feel like this is for me. but actually is necessary. It's part of her evolution. The death card is like you have to transform yourself. You cannot always be doing what you have been doing that has been great, but you can do more. So you probably in 2026 you will have to do more, and it's going to do great. So yeah. Sorry guys, it's just that the my allergies are starting to kick in. Mm, the weather is changing, so this is why my allergies are starting to affect my throat. Okay, I'm going to read for Cortis James. It looks like his last name, and his name is like the member of Cortis James. Cortis James. Let's see. See James. Wow. He's popular, isn't he? He's so popular. It's not that he's popular. He's a genius, probably. There's something about him bringing balance to this chaos, and I think that the company is so appreciative of this. The company is like, yes, we finally have our shining, charming prince in here. He's very, yeah, he's very fiery. I know I'm sure he's a Libra. This is why he has been included. Um, but I do feel him more like energetic. Like maybe it's because he's young, but it seems like he's like, like let's go, let's go, let's go. Ten of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, the Temperance in the middle for him, the Empress, and the Seven of Wands. And then I have the Queen of Wands that it says determination. So see, he's a very passionate member. Oh my God. Why do I feel the Nuna's energy again in the reading for a Cortis member? When I read for Cortis, I said this, and I know that something happened that fans call it out, or the audience did talk about this, about seeing certain women approaching the guys, and the guys are young, they're just starting. But I told you that there's older women, and this is not about age, but I think that it's very interesting how they are the first ones, like putting the money, like starting. It's not about, I think that this is not about becoming a fan, because of course the music and the style and everything is amazing, so you can be of any age and just love what they do. But the Empress is more like, I'm giving you my money because I like you, and this is very influential women, like women that have a lot of money. They are investing on the guys, they are putting the money, and because they are putting the money, they maybe get away with, or have permissions, to get closer to the guys, that maybe other fans, or maybe other parts of the audience, they are still like, how did that person get there? I feel it like the Nunas. This is not like the regular fandom. This is the women. This is, and I think that I remember when I read it, when I read for Curtis, I got a very weird vibe back then. I got a very, like, usually when you see the Empress, you're like, oh, but maybe they are like they want to take care of the guys, or they just love them, or they just are like, oh, he's so cute, or they're so cute, or let's let's support them. No, I got a very weird vibe, very weird vibe, and they are still here. So and I think that he doesn't like it also. So yeah, let's watch out for this. I'm saying it now, just like I said it when I read for them for the first time. Maybe people need to call this out a bit. I don't think that it's going to make a difference, because actually the company is expecting this, expecting for these people to pay for things or to sign up for things and just put the money. But it feels weird, and it could potentially be get weird. So I'm just telling you. um yeah, definitely he's like an ace. The 10 of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands is like he's this strong, very passionate young man, probably very creative. That somehow he brings. There's something about him entering into the company, because I have the 10 of Pentacles, so he's already accepted and sort of like um, um loved by the company, because he's such a passionate. I don't know if he's the leader or what, but there's something about him, having this strong energy, these ideas. He just cannot sit still. He's very creative. He also is very straightforward. I see that he's very. This is why he's giving me like fire sign influence more than a Libra person. He's definitely like full of ideas, or he's full of things that he wants to try. He's very fast and energetic to maybe get things done. He does things like he comes and goes. You have to let him run wild, because that's how he gets his inspiration. And I definitely can see that maybe the company with the 10 of Pentacles, there's something about them giving him the room and the permission for him to, I don't want to say be wild, but there's something about give him room to express himself. Give him the room for him to run around or just do crazy moves, because this is how he connects with himself, or with his intelligence, or with his ideas. Um, and I think that he's a very anxious person, so he needs to move. And probably he also has his own temper, his own he's not the traditional idol. He has his own personality. He can be unpredictable, but there's something that the company is like, his results are really good. So somehow we are supporting this. We are supporting that. He is like this. Somehow we are like, like when you have someone that is like a genius, and maybe personality wise you're like, wow, he's very like unexpected, or he just cannot sit still, or he's not someone that you tell him, okay, do this, and he will just follow blindly. No, he's more like, I will do me. And they're like, okay, you given us good results, so we will let you do you. And he's happy with that. He's so happy. We have the Temperance, so he's giving me Sagittarius, Sagittarius placement. The Temperance, I think that he's so happy. He's so happy. He's a guy that he adapts. He adapts, but also he's very positive. He's very positive. This has been a great year for him. It's going to continue to be a great year for him. I think that he's like connected to the source. I don't know why. I think that his mind, his body is full of excitement, is full of ideas, is full of energy. There's something about him just, being on the move. Like he's like, this is how I do, this is how I am. Please don't repress me, because this is he can be a bit clumsy. I don't know if he tends to have accidents, or just bump into people, or bump into places. It seems like because he runs, he could be energetic, so he does things maybe impulsively. But the Temperance is like he's just like a very positive influence. I don't know. I think that the Temperance is like he's a very a very nice guy, and he's a mix of a lot of things, and I think that he's very balanced, just like the Libra. If he's a Libra, there's something about him being able at the end of the day to, if he wants to calm down or if he has to, regulate his energy, he's able to do this. He's very charming. It's just that this is his moment. This is his moment where I'm like, this man is receiving the information, like somehow his ideas or maybe his creations, he's like getting it all. He's like getting it all through the crown chakra. And he's like, this is what I want to do. This is what we are going to do. So he's like, receiving all the the ideas of, because for him it's like he receives the inspiration and he has to feel it in the body or own it or move it. It feels very, it feels like it's like he gets possessed by music. I don't know, or something like this. But he's such a good guy. I love it. I love it. But yeah, we have the Empress and we have the Seven of Wands. So in here, I do see that he doesn't like this intermission of certain female figures in his space. He doesn't like it. He will not like it. He maybe, I don't know if he had an encounter with someone and it was awkward, but I think that he will put some boundaries or he will show his how uncomfortable he is around certain people, trying to push, trying to own him. I think that he is, like I said, he's a very wild soul. He's not the typical idol, so I think that for him it's like, I can be nice to you, but I'm not going to be, I'm not going to give you this fan service. I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't like it. Please stay away. So yeah, maybe he's like he has a bit of aversion, and maybe, you know um people will notice, and people will call out, these sort of people, these women appearing, because he feels uncomfortable. He's like, please, like don't get in my way of, I'm creating something here, so please don't get in the way. Like I don't, he tends to run away from those. He's like, I don't get that personal like this. I'm an artist. I don't know. I don't know. He's a bit rough like this. Like he's a bit like blunt. Like, oh, when I don't like something, I'm like, mm. But yeah, the Queen of Wands, determination. This determination is that, his passion. He's so passionate about, making it. He's so passionate about him, continuing working despite of, whatever people say. He's like, I don't care. I don't listen. I just keep doing me. He's very much centered in himself. He knows who he is. He knows what he wants to do. He's very passionate. So he's like, if you're not going to help me, get out of my way, because I don't follow orders very well. He's not the typical idol or the typical young man that he's like going to, be submissive. Not at all. Not at all. um he's like, I'm here now, so I'm going to rule. I'm going to be a winner. I'm going to, make things great. He has so much passion in himself. But yeah, the Queen of Wands also determination. It could be the determination of those certain fans. That those don't stop. We've seen it. We've seen it with JK. They don't stop. They never stop. They find new ways. They never stop. Mm-hmm. Um, Venus in Sagittarius is his only fire placement. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's that. I don't know. I just felt that Sagittarius energy. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't even remember his face. I'm like, this is my first time reading for one of them. So, but yeah, very nice reading. I like it. Very nice reading. Okay, going to continue with WayV Yangyang. Let's see. The Empress today is appearing in the middle of a lot of these idols. Maybe they have a conflict with the feminine this year, or maybe it's because they are Venusian themselves. So there's a bit of conflict with, like, okay, I have to be, I want to be assertive, but at the same time, you're asking me to be sweet. So there's like this battle of like, okay, I want to advance, but you want me to be gentle. So how do I do this? I don't really like it. Um, okay, for Yang, we start with the King of Cups. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Emperor in the middle. We have the Empress, and we have the Knight of Swords. And we have the Strength card that is says compassion. So yeah, I think that for Yang, he has these are great cards. Honestly, these are great cards. I think that this year has been actually very good for him. He feels very like supported by his community or by his group or by the company. I don't know. I mean, yeah, WayV had their comebacks, I believe, this year. But I don't know, maybe he got other opportunities and his relationship with the SEM is better, or maybe his relationship with his own community is better. I don't know if he got more offers to do something individually, but he just feels more fulfilled. Like emotionally, he feels very secure. He started the year like this. So I think that yeah, he's actually like very, there's something about Yang Yang, maybe not so much like when it comes to WayV, but probably him as a person. I think that this year was a year where he was able to do the things that he wanted. Maybe not so much like, oh, it has to be in the spotlight. Maybe it's about him taking leadership or ownership of his own decisions. With the Emperor in the middle, it feels very, I'm in control. I'm in charge of my life. I'm in control of my activities, or I'm in control of whatever I want to do with my life. I feel like he feels more reassured. He feels more like in power. Maybe he made certain decisions this year, or he's continuing to make decisions that it all has to do about him showing his true self, and probably he's also like stating also his own boundaries, and be like, this I will do, this I will not do, this I will participate, this I will not participate. But I feel like he feels very secure, and I know he's a Libra, but the Emperor is like the representation of Aries energy. So he's somehow also in this Aries energy, in this like boss kind of individualistic kind of energy, where he's like, I'm going after what I want. I had a good year, but I'm still, in a position where I want to keep expressing my truth, or expressing my point of view, or expressing what I want to do next. um I feel like he is like this. He's feeling very powerful. He's like, I will not accept any BS. This is my new attitude. This is what I am today. This is what I'm feeling. So he feels like, and he got a lot of major arcana. So I'm like, this is like a very personal transformation of his, to be able to be like, I want this for myself, and I'm going to fight for this, and you're not going to say no to me, because I'm going to stay here until you actually acknowledge my presence. So he feels very, like, very strong about this. And then the Empress and the Knight of Swords, see, he's somehow fighting, again, he's fighting his own sensitive side, or maybe his own, more subtle ways. This is the Venusian, the Libra. So we have the Libra and the Aries represented here, and we have the Knight of Swords. So there's something about him probably being like, I don't want to be, soft, or I don't want to be gentle anymore. I have some things that I want to say, or I have some, I have to communicate this. I have to say no. I don't want to be pleasant. I don't want to be like submissive, or just people pleasing. I want to speak my truth, and I want to defend my point of view. And I'm tired of always smiling and being like, oh yeah, I get you, I understand, I understand. He's like, no, no, this year, no. um which actually, if we see the Empress, and the Knight of Swords, there's something maybe about him maybe having this attitude, and this potentially like could limit a bit his opportunities, maybe, because the Empress is a bit of abundance and growth. So if we have the Knight of Swords, is somehow him maybe fighting this, or him saying something, and the outcome is him being left out of certain opportunities, or like, okay, you don't want to do this, you don't want to act like this, like we asked you to do. Okay, then so you are out, we will not give you this. So it can ruin a bit his possibilities in the near future. But he's feeling very like, I feel him very sharp. I feel like he has a lot of things to say. He's not hashing anymore. Um, and maybe there's going to be a bit of opposition from the other part. I mean, like, why are you acting like this? This is not a great moment for you to act like this. But probably it's because he feels much more secure. He feels much more confident. He's like, I have been doing this for a lot of years, so I know what I'm talking about. My experience is my authority. So he's feeling authoritarian. He's feeling authoritarian. He's like, yeah, I have some things to say, and I'm going to say it. So I don't care if you're not ready, if you don't think that I should do this. But I think that for him, it's like, I cannot take it anymore. I cannot hold it in anymore. I cannot be smiling and nodding. Like, I need to say something. I cannot, he probably has a bit of anger, a bit of like, you guys, you never gave me the room, or you never gave me the place that I deserved. You always left me in the background. And I don't think that this is about the group. This is not about the group. Probably it's him and maybe the company, talking. But I think that he has a good relationship with the company. I think that he has great relationships with everyone, because we start with the king and the 10 of Pentacles. So he's the typical Libra, he has great relationships with everyone. It's just that he has great relationships if he acts like this, while he is in this sweet, loving, romantic, and accepting and compassionate kind of figure, and sensitive man. He's like, yeah, everyone loves me when I'm like this. But I think that for him, it's like, maybe there's something that has been boiling inside of him. He's like, I want to do something different, or I want something for myself. I deserve this. I want to do this, or I want you to give me this. So this is why he's like, I refuse to ask for permission. I'm sort of letting you know that I want this, or I want this independence so I can do this. So it's not like I'm asking permission. It's more like I'm telling you that I'm going to do this. Could it be a solo? I don't see it, but because I see certain limitations. But at the same time, the strength card, compassion. See, the strength card is advising him to, calm down a bit, calm down, calm down a bit. It's like you will get. I don't want to say like he will get what he wants, but it's just that it's understandable. It's understandable that someone with the level of experience that he has, or the all the talent that he has, that he feels like, this year was supposed to be my year. And I feel like he had a good year. It's just like he's like, I want more. I want different. I deserve this. He is a Libra that probably he's like, I found myself, and I'm centering on myself and my own desire. So I'm letting you know that I want something for myself, or I want to be independent. So maybe there's something about this. But yeah, the strength card is like, slow down, don't get that angry, breathe, breathe, sort of regulate yourself a bit, calm down the beast inside of you. I mean, it's part of his experience, of course. If he feels like this, there must be a reason. But maybe he's like, yeah, I'm lucky that I had all these opportunities, but at the same time, I kind of want to say no to certain things because they haven't been working for me. Um, he probably wants something for himself that is very important, and he's like, you better give me this because I have been, somehow accepting everything that you have given me. The roles that you wanted me to play, I did it, but now I want something for myself. So I'm pushing it. I'm pushing it because I'm letting you know that I want this. Maybe it's a solo project. Maybe it's a solo. It's something that he wants to do, his solo career. And he's like, I'm ready. Give me my opportunity. I'm ready. Because he's like, you giving this to other people. I want my opportunity as well. Mm. Yeah, sometimes Libras are like Aries. Yes. Yeah. He is like, he is like going, on the other side. Yeah. He's like polarizing himself. Yes. Because he feels like it's necessary. It's necessary. Otherwise, they take him for granted. And he's like, I'm done with that. I'm done with that. Yeah, cardinal signs at the end. Yeah, the leaders. Mm-hmm. The initiators. Exactly. He has to lead. He has to lead his own life. Speak up. Okay, I'm going to continue with EXO Lay. Let's see. EXO Lay. He's such a Libra. He's such a Libra. He got the justice card in the middle. He's such a Libra. He's like, I'm not here nor there. I'm always neutral. I'm always neutral. Yeah. Yeah, but at the end, he's also a leader. We had been talking about leadership, cardinal signs, leadership, take the leader role, and we have the King of Wands for him, leadership. So this is a Libra that at the end, he's like, yeah, I am a leader. I am the leader of my life. I'm the creator of my life. I don't wait for others. At the end, I have the power. Okay, for Lay, we have the lovers, we have the 10 of Pentacles, we have the Justice in the middle, we have the Page of Wands, and we have the Knight of Cups. And then we have, yeah, the King of Wands that is as leadership. So he's such a Libra. He's such a Libra. It's like the duality. It's like, yes and no. Yes and no. Maybe I can, maybe I cannot. I don't know. Um, I think that, yeah, with the lovers and the justice, and in the middle we have the 10. We have the 10. We have the 10 of Pentacles. So this is the company, and we have the justice. When I say company, not his company, is Sam definitely, and he's like hot and cold with the Sam. With the lovers and the justice, probably he had maybe certain talks with the Sam. He has good relationships with the Sam, I would say, because the 10 of Pentacles is like, yeah, I talk, I communicate, or I hear what they say. This is a very business like Libra. Like somehow he's very smart and he's very polite, and um I don't want to say political, but it sounds political. um he's all about good manners, civilization, being civil, being being a mediator. Also, he hears the different sides of the bell. He hears it, and he doesn't make a judgment, nor he's not like, oh, I think this or I think this. um um But at the same time, I think that he's with the justice in the middle. He's like, I'm sort of waiting for karma to happen. I think that he's someone that he's beyond any company or any kind of like institution. I think that he is his own institution. He has this level of importance or a level of influence, and he's like, I'm not taking sides. I'm just reviewing, what they're telling me. Um, but I think that he does believe in balance, and maybe 2025 has been a year where he has been able to integrate, different parts of himself, his past and his present, and maybe his future potentially. So I think that he is a very diplomatic man, definitely. But there's something about him, this year being very serious about this, or being very, very conscious about this, um, about being honest, about not maybe in past years he was maybe he mainly talked about himself or his own personal projects, and now with the justice there's something about him being like, I'm bringing back anything related to where I come from. That is my group. That is I belong in there still, even though people maybe are like, is he in there, is he part of this, like sometimes people are like, why are you reading for him, is he part of EXO? With the lovers and the 10 of pentacles and the justice, he could be and he could not be, but he is like in the middle. He's not like closing the doors, just like when I read for other former members of groups. There are certain members, there are certain artists that they are like, I will not go back in there. I'm happy doing me. So yeah, sometimes fans have a hard time understanding that. In the case of Lay, he plays with options. He doesn't. This is why I'm like, he's very smart. Maybe this is part of business as well. I would say this is why the word that keeps coming in my mind is political. There's something political about this. I know that there's history. I don't know much about this because I'm not Asian. My English is broken about these kind of matters. So I don't know how to express it correctly. I only hear the word political. So let's this is why he doesn't close the doors for a potential reunion, or him bringing up EXO, or just honoring EXO and his part in EXO. So this is I cannot say like, oh, he's out. No, I don't see it. I don't see that he's out. So I don't know about if the fans, maybe they are like, no, he's, well, you guys know. If you're fans, you guys know. But I'm telling you, energetically he's a still part. It's just that he's not going to be there like when you want him to, or in the way that you want him to, but he will always be there. We do have in the near future, we have the Page of Wands and we have the Knight of Cups. So for me, this could be his participation in the comeback. He's definitely like starting something new. I think that he could be that he's rehearsing for a new project of his. But at the same time, with the Page of Cups, he's also saving a bit of his productivity or his creation to give a message to the fans and to give a loving memory for the fans. So I think that he's like, yeah, I'm always active or I'm always working, but somehow I also want to send like a message or a demonstration of love for my fans, or the fans that are fans of EXO, and my experience with EXO. So I can sort of see him, giving a present to the fans, maybe appearing, maybe having like a special performance. It's coming. It's coming. He's working on this. He's working on this. He's rehearsing, he's moving his body, he's putting all his creativity, he's moving. He's just starting, but he's doing it. And he's delivering it with a lot of love. It's like a love letter to the fans. It's like, the fans deserve this because they have been so loyal to me that they deserve to see this. So he's like so open to love. He's so passionate also about this. This is like, no one is forcing him. This is a decision of his. Um, Probably it's not like that grandiose like people think. Maybe it could be an instance. It could be, you know, a brief moment or a brief participation, but is going to ignite the fire in the hearts of the fans, and this is what he wants. Then, leadership. I think that we discard the King of Wands for Lay's future is that, at the end, he will never go back to EXO, and be like part of EXO and forget about his own journey, because he is a leader. He is bigger. I don't want to say that he's bigger than EXO, but I think that, he is in a position in his career where he is a leader, and he's the leader of his life and his career. So the independence, the leadership, the responsibilities that he has with his own image or with his own creations or with his individual activities probably doesn't give him, the possibility to be like, oh, I'm going to go back to EXO like 24/7 and I'm going to participate and be here. He's like, I cannot do this because I mean, he has to put his energy in his solo work. He is a leader, and people are waiting for him to maybe resume his activities or maybe create more. But the thing that I can say about Lay energetically is that whatever he does in the future, he is a leader. He is a master in his own career. He is in charge, and he's very passionate. Whatever he's going to bring to the fans and to the people is going to be very passionate. It's going to be very felt. It's going to be, he puts the body, he puts the passion, he puts all his blood, sweat, and tears. There's something just very passionate about him, and this is why he is a leader, because the way he shows himself, the way whatever thing that he does, he leaves a mark. So, but at the same time, he's like, I have to go back to me. I am a leader, so I have to go back to, take care of me, because I am the leader of my life. So I'm going to change just in case. I believe today or tomorrow, if I have time, I have to read for Seunghan. He's back from the military. So yes, I'm going to do a reading for him for the channel, a video for him. So yes, if you're a fan, yeah, wait for me. Okay, I'm going to continue with Seunghan. I don't know how to pronounce his new name as a group. I mean the new stage name that he has, that it starts with an XngHan. But yeah, it's going to be for Seunghan. Okay, let's see. Oh. Okay. Okay, for Seunghan, we have 5 of Wands, we have 2 of Cups, we have the Wheel of Fortune, 3 of Cups, and 10 of Wands. And then we have 3 of Cups again, that is his community. So this is a very Libra reading. It's all about him relying on maybe the others, or the other members of his this group. But yeah, um, he will recover if he remains with his community. He cannot stand alone yet. It's more like rely on others, or always go back to your community when you feel alone, or when you feel lost, or when you feel a bit anxious about the future. Yeah, for Songkang, I think that the two of the 5 of Wands and the 2 of Cups, I think that more than this definitely represents how, more than the conflict, in here I can sort of see more than the 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 joint forces, how people were able to join forces to defend him, to stand up to the haters, or people that really wanted his career to end. The 5 of Wands and the 2 of Cups is defending this bond that they had with Sungchan. This definitely this that the fans and the audience did for Sunghan was an act of love, an act of protection. It's like, we will protect you from the haters, like we will protect you. It wasn't easy, it wasn't easy because there was a bit of still of resistance, but I think that the love was able to win in the case of Sunghan, and Sunghan's new beginning in his career. I think that he really, maybe his comeback was more effective, and when it comes to winning the hearts, or winning the love of people, or the acceptance of people, or the support of people. People really forgave him, or it's not about forgiveness, but I think that the love, or the demonstration of love, was stronger than the opposition. So this is why his comeback felt differently. I think that this marked a sort of change, for him. I think that this is not, this is um, somehow maybe something that hasn't happened before. That is like oh, there's a fly. Uh, it's like the demonstration that love wins at the end, and that if you really love an artist, or if you really think positively of them, that your positive perception of theirs, your compassion towards them, actually can heal them, and can remove the hate, or remove the negativity. So I think that they were able to, maybe even if there were some, you know if some people were trying to sabotage this for him, the good reception, or the good feedback, was bigger and was more influential than the hate. So this is why I think that, with the Wheel of Fortune in the middle for Sunghan, I think that his destiny has changed. He is in a better place than he was before. He was able to change his fortune, but at the same time, the Wheel of Fortune is also very unstable. It's like, you can be up today and maybe tomorrow things can change. So I think that what it says is that this year was a change of luck for him, like a change of a scenario. Somehow things are starting to move, things are starting to advance for him, and he was able to get out of this, lower position, even energetically. He was able to, close a door and open another, or maybe change a different path in his, maybe, not just in his career, but also, like somehow being able to move on personally. Maybe he felt very attacked, very repressed, very, uh, it really took a toll on him. And I think that the Wheel of Fortune is like, move on, advance, keep advancing, because people are helping you move the wheel. People are helping you, close the chapter. Just advance with them. Even if you don't know where you're going, just embrace the movement. Go, go with the flow, go with the new opportunities, go. Don't focus so much on where you're going, but at least you're moving. And I think that this is something that I must say, that is the doing of the people, is the doing of the community, is the doing of, I don't want to say just the fans. I think that this is bigger. This is not just the fans. This is probably a lot of people that maybe they are not fans of the group, or they don't know much. But when they heard what happened to Seunghan, there was like an understanding, or maybe an empathy, a sympathy towards him, and more like, wow, poor guy. Um, I'm giving you my vote, or I'm watching your videos, or I think that you're cute. I don't know much about you, but I wish you well. So I think that the positivity, it was really, um, I would say, life changing, destiny changing for him. Um, in the near future, we have again the Three of Cups and the Ten of Wands. Yeah, I think that this is, probably a fear scenario of his. Definitely, yes, he has, his people. It's not just him, it's him and others, on the stage. And I think that they really have great chemistry and everything, but probably for him, he worries about future activities. Maybe he will start 2026 being like, I really want us to do more together, or I want us to keep being active. And so, yeah, we don't know much about what we are going to do next, but yeah, let's keep practicing. I think that he has a great, are they his friends, the other members of his group? Are they his friends? Because I feel like an emotional connection with them. But at the same time, he worries about them. He feels responsible for them. He's like, I hope we can, get a new material or a new comeback. So let's keep practicing. Just like I said with the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune is like, yeah, you somehow, advanced, you moved, you changed, you are in a different era now, but the wheel can get stuck at some point, and I think that this is his fear. His fear is like, but what about a new comeback? When are we having a new comeback? When are we having, like, he feels very pressured by this. He feels like a bit, I would say he will feel it like in the first beginnings of the year, first months probably of the year. He will feel the weight on his shoulders. He will be like, okay, what about new music, or what about new activities, or what about, I want more. I want more for my group. Like, I want us to be more active. I don't want us to be left in a dungeon. Maybe he fears the dungeon. um, so he feels like he has to be a bit insistent with the company. Maybe he will be a bit intense, and he will be like, can I, you know can I do something? Do you have something for me? Him being very insistent. But I think that besides his group, because this is not about his other members, the people that are on stage with him, this probably is also, him collaborating with other people from the company, other artists, I mean, other idols. I think that he has the potential of, maybe participating in challenges of other groups, and somehow that helping him ease his anxiety about like, okay, I don't see a comeback. So, what does this mean? Everything is so quiet. I'm worried. I'm worried about my future. I'm worried. But yeah, it says, community. So, he actually can, he reaches out to other idols in the company. Actually, he's very well received as well. Like people really love him. People really love him. So I think that even though, now at least for the next months, I don't see like work, but I do feel like, him building good relationships with other idols or maybe even with the former members of Rise, not the, sorry, not the former members of Rise, the members of Rise. Um, it's like, this is a gift for you. Maybe, it's not so much like you have to be active. It's more like, you keep building community, build your community, talk to the people, you know, like nurture yourself with that love, with that acceptance, build your community, talk to the fans, listen to the fans, be thankful to the fans, remind them how special they are for you and how thankful you are that they are here for you. I think that he has the potential to build also friendships, relationships with other idols, and maybe that he hasn't, he doesn't know yet, or maybe, you will see him hanging out with different idols of other groups that you're like, oh, I didn't know they knew each other. Him starting to talk with them or going places with them or playing games with them. It feels like it's all about building connections, building community. um, Maybe thanks to this association he will be mentioned even if he's not active individually, but he will be mentioned because he's been seen with the others. So it's like, rely on your community. He can do it. He can generate this for himself. So it's so cool. Don't panic. Don't panic about productivity. I don't see the dungeon, but just, don't, remain positive. Okay. I'm going to continue with IVE Gaeul. IVE Gaeul. Hmm. Okay. For IVE Gaeul, we have Page of Swords, Four of Swords, Two of Swords, Six of Pentacles, Five of Cups, and Ten of Pentacles is his legacy. A lot of swords for this girl. I know she's a Libra, I guess, but a lot of swords. Like, what is going on with her mind? Um, I mean, the Two of Swords in the middle is very Libra, but I think that there's something. Was she in hiatus? Or was the group in hiatus at the beginning of the year or something like this? Because I see her like, she, she she's like, the Two of Swords is like, I'm confused about my role in the group somehow. Ives Gael. Um, and she has said it, it's just that I think that from the other part, maybe from the company or maybe from the people that she talks to, there's a sort of silence. So it feels like she doesn't have much to do. Like, um there's something about her being like, I don't get many opportunities like the others. And I feel a bit like she said something at some point, but I think that there's a lot of silence from, like I mentioned, and this is why she probably this year it has been a year of duality of like not knowing how to feel about her career maybe. She's a bit confused. She also probably doesn't want to make like, I feel like this is a person that maybe she thinks she's in her head a lot. This is why we have the all the swords, and probably there's something about her being like, don't bother, leave it to rest, don't bother, go take a nap, go sleep, or go and silence your mind. Don't get anxious about this. It's just that with the Page of Swords, there's something about, there's moments where she has this like, okay, I'm going to say something, or maybe passive aggressively, saying something, but it feels like, oh, it's like she dropped it and then she never spoke about it again. So I don't feel her that stable in the group, like in the sense that what she says is important or what she says is taken into consideration, like, oh, she's the voice of wisdom. I feel like maybe she the like very young, or I know they are all young, but her energy feels very like small, like not that um like I wish I could say something, but then I'm like, I don't want to bother others. So the two of swords in the middle is like, she's going through this year with this feeling of like um, duality, of like, I better don't make any judgment, or I don't say anything drastical, drastically. uh, she doesn't want to make like like a bold statement towards someone maybe, because she's like, no, it's not my place for me to say anything. She feels very small in her role. She's like, I wish I could also speak up or say something or ask something for myself, but I don't feel like I have like when you feel like, okay, I have my back is supported by someone, or I have the influence of someone. No, no, she's definitely not the favorite of someone. No, she feels very small, so there's something about her being like, she wants to confront, but at the same time she's like, I better not. So maybe she only has conversations in her own head, and maybe she doesn't say anything. But probably, with the two of swords, there's something about maybe if there's fans or there's people that they really feel this of her, like, is she okay, is she comfortable in the group, why don't people give her, I don't know, more screen time or more lines. I don't know if it's about this, but maybe, people are like, is she okay. um she's very dual. She's like not present. It's her energy feels like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm a bit evasive myself. Like sometimes I just close my energy off and I'm just not here. Um yeah, the Six of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. Um yeah, I think that honestly she could potentially like um want something for herself, or maybe ask for a bit of, like, are they girls like sort of waiting for a contract? Is there a contract that they have to sign, or um but I feel like like for her it's like, well, we always go back to the same, at least for her this year, or what is left of 2025. It feels like very like, well, it is what it is. I know I will not get what I want. So yeah, maybe, she feels a bit down, like, well, things are not fair all the time. Um yeah, she feels a bit like sad. But it's not that it's sad. It's just that I think that she's very young still. There's something about like, because I don't see that she's like, oh, this girl doesn't have a way out. She's, controlled by others, or she's like overwhelmed. No, it's just that she maybe has some problems communicating her needs. There's something about her maybe having the possibility, the spotlight, having the chance to speak up or say something, and she chooses silence, or she chooses not to confront. This is very Libra as well. So I think that for her, it is like she's still trying to figure out, like, how do I state my opinion? How do I voice up my feelings, my perceptions? Because she's actually very smart. Her points of view may be, groundbreaking, or maybe, something that is needed, or what she knows. She's a very intelligent person. It's just that, she doesn't find the right timing to express herself, and this is why maybe it has to do with low self-esteem. The two of swords is giving me like, you don't find yourself in a group, or in any maybe friendships, or maybe in her, maybe in her, I don't want to say like family, because it feels like too personal, but maybe there's something about her always being in the middle, and not deciding, or not standing out. And this is why she prefers to remain silent. She maybe, initially she can throw like, an idea. There's something about her being like, I have this idea, or I believe this. And this, like the page of swords, is a great idea, because it's her truth, or is her perception. But then, with the four of swords, it's like, well, I just stay quiet. And maybe, she needs to speak louder, or she needs to continue the flow of the conversation. It's not just like you throwing randomly a phrase, and then you sit and you're like, okay, I guess no one heard me. No, you work on your communication. I think that for her is this, she's still very young. She still hasn't found her, her voice. There's something about her maybe also wanting to hide a bit, not wanting to be point at, not wanting to be exposed. Maybe her speaking up in front of others, she's like, no, I'm going to get exposed. And what if they don't like it? And what if they don't like me? And what if they reject me? So she has to work on this. She has to work on this. She has to, because she had lost, and she's going to lose opportunities because she doesn't speak up. And I think that she's given the chances to speak up. It's just that maybe she just stays silent. This is why I'm like, what is going on? It's like you started saying something, but then you stopped. So what is it? But yeah, the Ten of Pentacles, legacy. This is also probably the legacy, the importance of the group. Maybe it's also her owning this. Like, your group has a legacy. Your group has a very, abundant, a stable foundation. Your group is important. Your group is successful, is stable, is important. So you are important too. So whatever you add, an opinion, a vision, is welcomed. So, relay on this legacy. She's part of something important. So her voice, her point of view matters. She's actually very capable of actually giving really good feedback, because she's a Libra, and she knows how to, balance. Maybe if you have two members, that one has this opinion and the other one has this another strong opinion, she can be the one in the middle. She can be the voice of reason. It's just that she hasn't discovered her own voice. There's a potential. She has the potential. She has the potential. She has the intelligence. It's just that she hasn't been feeling supported. But the support it is. with the Ten of Pentacles, legacy. I think that she's much more important, or actually the company has been seen, or the employees, or people in the company, they know about her. They know about her potential. They are like, oh yeah, her Gaul is amazing. She's so smart. Like she's always like so sharp. She's always so nice. She's always so, she's always. It seems like she helps. She helps, or she influences somehow, maybe the leader, or maybe she talks to someone and she helps in some way, in some capacity. It's just that she doesn't see it for herself. So yeah, a lot of learning to do, because if she doesn't learn, she's going to continue to lose the opportunity, and she deserves recognition, because she's actually a very key member as well. Yeah, yeah, I think that we all were her at some point. Yeah, especially when you have a group of people with a lot of opportunity, not a lot of opportunity, people with presence and personality, that you're like, oh no, she's talking, so I better do not say anything, because I believe that she knows more than me. But no, no, it's not a competition about who knows better, or who knows what. It's about you speaking up your mind, because you are part of that legacy. You are part of that Ten of Pentacles that has been growing and expanding in there. So speak up. Speak up. I don't see that she has like, there's like, oh, there's someone that is like, you know affecting her ability to say something. No, it's her own mind. Okay, I'm going to continue with Enhypen Heesung. Okay, for Enhypen Heesung, we have the Star. We have the King of Swords. He always gets the King of Swords. Four of Pentacles in the middle, Two of Pentacles, and Four of Swords. And then we have the Seven of Cups, that is his choices. He's very stubborn. He's very stuck in his ways also. I remember when I first started in the readings and I read for Sserafim Yunjin, she also got the Four of Pentacles, and there's something about, maybe it's about, there's something about, maybe there's some things changing in the company. There's certain things that are about to change, and they feel very protective of their own position, or they feel like, oh, things are changing, so I have to hold on very tight to my stability, or to what I know. And I think that for Heesung, it has been feeling like this. The Star and the King of Swords, I think that he definitely is not a member that, oh my God, I feel so sad that no one wants me. Or no, he's actually, he's a very intelligent man. He's also very, he has the right vision. He's like, I know I'm a star, or I know that I'm shining, or that I'm doing my part, or my role, that I'm doing it correctly, and that I'm shining, and that my group is good. He somehow is like very proud of what Enhypen has been created. So he doesn't feel like, oh my God, like I feel like, there's changes coming, and I feel like we're going to lose everything. No, not at all. Not at all. I think that Heesung has like sort of very clear, a bit cold and a bit detached and a bit authoritarian kind of view, but he's very honest. He's very honest. He's like, we are stars. We shine. We shine. We have, they have, um he's like, we have a charisma, or we have a way of showing up to people that people really prefer us, and I think that he's like, this is what stars are for. So there's something about him being very proud of what they had been had they been on tour and Hypen, because I see him also tired. Like he somehow is like waiting maybe for certain periods of traveling, and he wants to rest a bit. He wants to rest a bit. It's just that he also doesn't want to, the Four of Pentacles is like, I don't want to lose this opportunity that we have been given. So he's like, I kind of want a break, but at the same time, I'm sort of adapting to whatever appears. But I feel the Four of Swords at the end. So there's something about him needing a break somehow. Maybe as the year ends, there's something about him lowering his energy, him lowering his energy. um and also being more flexible, because the Four of Pentacles, I don't know if there have been certain situations, in the last couple of months where he felt a bit like, oh, is something going to happen to our group, or is there a threat, or is there, it's not about being afraid of change, but maybe there were, certain worries that he has about stability. And he's like, I hope we don't lose this, or I hope that we are okay. So he's been, he's holding on very tight. He's been a bit, um tense about, um you know protective of his group, I would say. He has been protective of his group. His energy feels like, literally, like, you're not going to take away what is ours, you know um and but then, we move to the Two of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. So somehow he's also learning to, like, it's not good to hold on really tight, so maybe it's like, let's start over. Maybe it could it be that they lose an opportunity or something gets canceled, and he's like, well, you know at least I can rest. I don't think that it's like a hiatus, but he's like, well, if this is canceled, I guess I will have some time to rest. I'm okay, because we have the Four of Pentacles, and then we go back to the Two of Pentacles in the near future. So there's something about, you miss two coins, but at the same time, I think that it's sort of liberating for him, because maybe this year has been very challenging. It has been good. I think that he's a guy that he's like, I'm not worried. He is a King of Swords. His mentality is the mentality of a champion. He's sort of he's well trained mentally to overcome anything. He's not, a scary cat. He's not like, oh my God, like what is going on? No. It's just that he's possessive. He's possessive, he's like, okay, this is for us, okay. You want this for us, okay. You want us to do this, okay. I'm sort of like thinking that, he's also very proud of his group. The Four of Pentacles is giving Taurus energy, like, we are the best. And I love this for him, because I want, I think that sometimes, um this is the mentality, this is not the mentality of an idol, this is the mentality of a professional, this is the mentality of a future CEO. This is the mentality of someone that is able to see, beyond, maybe if there's criticism, but he sees the numbers, or he sees the reality, he has clarity in his thoughts, and he's like, we're doing okay, so I don't care what others do. But yeah, there could be, that things will change at the end of the year, maybe certain cancellations or modifications in their schedules, and he's like, well, the better, I can sleep, I can rest. Just, yeah, send me a vacation. I'm happy. I'm happy. He's sort of looking forward to this. I think that at first he's like, no, we have to save our opportunities, because this is important and this is work. But as the months, advance, probably as we are, getting closer to the end of the year, maybe he's like, I kind of want to relax a bit. I kind of want to, sort of loosen up a bit because he has been tense. He has been tense. Yeah, his posture, it feels rigid. There's a certain, tension. But he's not aware that he does this. It's just that maybe he's very, protective of his work, or maybe he's like this because this is important for him. This is business for him. There's something just like very business like. He's a professional and he thinks about certain matters that maybe other members don't think about it, but he knows. And he's like observing, maybe numbers. He's observing numbers. Yeah, the 7 of cups choices. So yeah, he will. I think that at the end, I think that this 2025, what is left of 2025, is a sort of it has been a good year for him. It's more like the 7 of cups is like, there's going to be more choices in the future. So if you skip an opportunity, or if there's something that you have to avoid, or if there's something that is going to get delayed or canceled, you will get more opportunities in the near future. So don't worry. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. Don't panic. Don't get on the defensive. Don't get like, oh, if I get this opportunity, it's mine and I'm not going to share it. No, you will have more choices in the near future. So don't worry. Mm, yes. Yeah, he also gives me Virgo vibes. From what I've seen on Instagram since they are on tour, yeah, he wants a rest. He's hanging in there. Okay, I'm going to continue with Hanbin, Kim Hanbin, the soloist. Hmm, he got 2 times the Three of Swords. What is going on with Hanbin? Ace of Cups, the Judgment, 3 of Cups in the middle. Not 3 of Cups, Three of Swords. Sorry. 5 of Wands, 4 of Swords, and 3 of Swords again. It says heartbreak. So what is going on with Hanbin? Who broke his heart? He's very heartbroken or disappointed about something. Also, did he release something at the beginning of the year and it wasn't received well? The Ace of Cups with the Judgment. There's a creation of his, or there's something that maybe he created, or something that he made, and there's judgment because of this. This is why he has like this feeling of disappointment, and it feels very personal, like I'm feeling like almost like betrayed, because if it was about a person, I don't see the person. But at the same time, I think that he's so disappointed. Maybe he's disappointed in the industry in general, that this year he hasn't felt like he was welcomed, or that what he created or what he originated, that it wasn't well received. So I think that for him, um this year hasn't been a good year. and I think that I don't see him releasing something new this year because he has to go through this heartbreak. He has to go through these, sad feelings. Um, Also, he's a very sensitive person. So, whatever, maybe if it's like a bad relationship or if it's like, a bad reception or criticism towards his person, for him, it's something that is sort of like it frozens his ability to advance, and maybe he gets in a very pessimist mood of like, oh, this has no, like, I want to be alone. I don't want, I don't want no one to help me. No one said anything to me. Like, I don't want to listen. I don't want to understand. Like, he gets very much in his feelings, and he gets, very much um, in this very, he feels hurt. He feels hurt, or he feels like misunderstood, and he feels very hurt. So, yeah, I feel like, maybe this year hasn't been a good year for him because he got the free of source twice. So maybe this could prolong to the end, to the beginning of 2026 as well. He has to go through this, somehow. The free of source is like, he has to go through the heartbreak, or he has to go through the sadness. He cannot avoid it. He needs to take a time out, or if he needs to, make certain decisions to stay away from drama or to stay away from certain people, he has to exercise this. It's about, the decisions that he makes to feel better. But if, the feeling of sadness continues or persists, it is what I don't think that he has to avoid this. I don't feel like he has to avoid this. um yeah, the five of wands and the four of swords. See, there's maybe conflicts with others. There's conflicts, I don't know if it's with the company that he's in. I don't see a company, but maybe there's conflicts with other people, other artists. Like, maybe he had like potential collaborations with others, and the four of swords is like, it's not going to happen this year. You need to rest. You need to go back to yourself. You need to center your mind. You need to clean your head. You need to clean, go get some air, stay away from the drama, stay away. Like, don't get carried away by, very like discussions and disagreements. Like, this is not good for him. The confrontations and accusations, like just don't get in those. Don't get in that field of conflict, and just getting very agitated, because it's not good for him, and especially because I feel like he's hurt. Maybe his pride is hurt. He's hurt inside. He has like a heartbreak, so he's going to feel very sensitive towards anything that is being like, coming his way. So maybe, he has to um have like a sort of agreement, not a sort of conversation or a settlement with someone. Is going to get ugly because he's very much not in a good space right now. He's feeling very like sensitive. He's feeling very um like affected by what is going on. So yeah, I would advise him to just, go on a hiatus, or if you are in a hiatus, remain in a hiatus, and just, maybe look for help. Like, I don't know if he has like a therapist, but I think that it would be good for him to work on this heartbreak, or work on this deception. um, just find help, and just stay away from more, from people or situation that can trigger, you know like, don't let things get ugly. And I think that when I say this, I say it for a lot of Libras, like sometimes, yeah, Libra has to confront, they have to have like a sort of like back and forth with people, because it's part of life, but not to a point where you cannot recognize yourself, or where you lose your manners, or where you lose your fairness, or where you lose um, your ability to be polite. When you feel like literally like this whole conversation or interaction is turning you into an ugly person. And when I say ugly, I don't mean it physically, I mean it like ugly in character. When it's affecting you like this and you feel like you're turning into a monster and it's getting ugly, get out of there. Get out of there, because it's like consuming you, or is affecting you. And 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 no, he needs to retreat. Okay, I'm going to continue with Bangchan of Stray Kids. Hmm. Okay, for Bangchan, we start with the strengths, the lovers, the devil in the middle, nine of swords, and the fool. And then we have the knight of cups, that is his charm. So this is very much like what I said about Hanbin, somehow like advising him to not let certain confrontations or certain discussions or certain interactions get ugly, because it makes them ugly, like internally, like it turns them into a very unpleasant person that they are not. I think that for a Libra to be, to give the power to others to unbalance you or to take away your balance, is the worst that they can do. So it's better to retreat from those places or situations. And I think that for Banchan, definitely it feels like this year has been a very toxic year. A year where we've seen that Banchan had his maybe sort of like his interactions with certain people that they call themselves fans, and you know um and I think that he this year has been tough energetically for Banchan. I think that there was a moment where he was turning into this sort of like he was immersed in the toxicity, like he absorbed the toxicity somehow, and it's hard for him. I think that he's trying still to get rid of the venom. When you are so like immersed in that negativity, that somehow you end up absorbing it. So I think that for him it was like, you did absorb a bit of their toxicity. Um and I think that he's trying still to get away from this. I feel like he feels very guilty for the person that he became, or maybe he answered or he said something that he was like, oh my god, I would have never said that if I wasn't provoked. I think that they took me to extreme. They pushed me into extreme where I had to react, and I didn't like what I saw, or I didn't like how I acted. And I think that every time I read for Banchan, I feel an amount pressure and an amount sense of guilt. He's a kind of Libra that he feels very guilty for, you know how much the toxicity somehow is able to grab him, and just uh, absorb him, and get the best of him. It's just that, you know this is what these people do. This is what the people do. This is why these people post those comments, the hateful comments. And it's not just for Banchan, it's for everyone. From any person that has the, this place of exposure. When you have like an open chat, or when you have, when you show your face and when you are interacting, there's always going to be someone that says something inappropriate, or someone that is somehow poking you or trying to trigger you to say something, and for you to become in that person that you are like, wow, if I had the chance to think before I said something, I would have responded differently. But I think that the level of toxicity, maybe it reached a level for Banchan this year, where he was like, I was immersed in that toxicity, and maybe I became toxic too. And now he has to somehow reverse that, and he spends a lot of like sleepless nights, I would say, trying to detox himself from negativity, because he was very angry. He still is angry. He still is resentful towards certain people. Um, with the strengths and the lovers, I think that he also, maybe because he's a leader and not just because he's a Libra, but yeah, a leader and a Libra, the lovers and the strengths card is him always trying to be in the middle. The lovers is like, I'm playing, you somehow throw something at me and somehow I'm trying to evade it, and I'm trying to, hold myself. The strength card is like, I'm holding my own anger or my own eagerness to say something to you. I'm somehow trying to be nice. I'm trying to be understanding. I'm trying to be compassionate. I see certain things. I read certain things. I get some feedbacks and comments that are so inappropriate. And I think that this is something about Banchan that is very Libra. That I think that the thing that he hates the most is disrespect. If you disrespect him in the group, you trigger him. So this is something that he's like, maybe he started the year and he was like, I will breathe. I'm seeing certain things, but I'm holding, he's holding the, he's remaining in the middle. He's like pretending that he doesn't see, he's holding the beast inside of him. He's like, I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to respond. I'm not going to respond until someone says something that it triggers him. And he's like, bam. He's like, who do you think you are that you're talking to me like this? And I think that this is why these people do this, because they want the toxic Banchan. And this is not about being toxic. This is more about domination. This is about these people wanting to dominate Banchan's character or persona, or how he shows himself in these places. It's like, we want to take you to the dark side because we are so twisted and we are so toxic that we want a toxic leader. Because, oh yeah, you're toxic. Yeah, we are toxic like you because you are our leader. So, we are all dark and toxic here. We are all dark and obsessive here. So come, you're our leader. You are supposed to represent us. We are toxic and you are our leader. So you have to be toxic as well. And I think that he's like, no, I cannot. I think that for him it's like, I cannot believe they dragged me into this. They took me into their territory. I cannot believe they took me into the territory. And I met them in there. And I became just one like them. Um, but also the devil is some kind of contract. So somehow he's like, well, I'm bound to these people. Not all of them, because there's great people. I'm talking about the toxic people in maybe in the fandoms or in their communities. I don't know much about Stray Kids community, but it seems like he got a taste of the dark side, and he's like, I have to tell you something because you will not dominate me. And I think that this also this also is necessary for him to somehow embrace this devil, embrace this darkness, like not darkness, but it's more like your shadow work. That, yeah, I can be very nice and I can be very like, oh, yeah, I understand. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah. But at the same time, I can ask you to stop. I can show you who is in charge in here. So if I tell you to stop, you stop. So somehow it is about him also taking the chains or whatever is the torch, whatever is going on in here, whatever these twisted fantasies these people have, is like grab them by the neck, but state your opinion, you know, maybe be a bit controversial, but stop them. Otherwise, they don't listen. They don't care. But he does care. For him, he does care. This is why he feels, so guilty. We have the Nine of Swords. He's like, I think that he even maybe he had a confrontation. He's like, wow, this is, I'm not like that. I don't like that person that I became in that moment. But is part of who you are as well. Because I think that if you don't do this, if you don't assert your dominion, they are going to dominate you. So somehow you have to change the game. And if they get into the lowest, you have to meet them at their lowest. Because these people are no angels. This is why we have the devil here. They are twisted and they don't want to stop. So put them in their places. Yeah, I think that he's like trying to, maybe the last of this year, he's trying to erase somehow this bittersweet taste and feeling of like, wow, I didn't recognize myself. Like, I think that it was the first time that I got into that, in the energy. um but yeah, they took you to their territory, because this is what they do. So see it like these people. There's a lot. It's not just Bangchan in the fandom. There's a lot of people that act like this, especially online. But you have to cut the cords. You have to cut the restriction. You have to cut the codependency. Like, let them know that you and you are not the same people. They don't own you. So there's a brand new beginning for him, definitely. I think that he will maybe be able to get rid of this, maybe he has nightmares, or he has like recurrent, he's rooming about, I should have said something different. I should have done something different. No, what you did and what you say, it was what had to come out right then, because they were pushing you. They were waiting for that moment. So somehow, the Fool is like, start over, new year, new you. Probably, 2026 is going to be like a new liberation for him personally, and maybe with the group as well. The Knight of Cups, charm. He's a very charming guy. He's a very loving guy. I'm sure that for him, like I said, to enter into these dark energies, these dark moods, is not pleasant. For him, it's like I don't want to go there again. But you know he's a great entertainer. He's a charming person. People love him. So you have to keep being this Libra guy, this um lover boy, this loving persona, this charming prince or king, or authority. You bring the charm, you bring the beauty, you bring the sensuality. You bring the good, the beautiful things, the beautiful moments. So don't regret. Don't regret. Like you are this. You are the Knight of Cups. You bring love. You bring charm to your audience. So go back to that. Go back to that. Don't stay in this in these dark places. But it's also part of acknowledging that these energies exist in the fandom, in K-pop, in a lot of places. These people exist, and they're always there. Just that maybe it's like one of the first idols that, in that moment, maybe he had this strong confrontation. I don't know. I don't follow them, but it feels like for him it was like, oh my god, what did I do, what did I say? It felt like someone else took over him, but like I said, it's shadow work. There's moments where we cannot be always a nice guy. We have to stand up for them, for ourselves. We have to stand up. We cannot always be pleasant. I mean, like, oh yes, please walk all over me. Yes. No, you have to show them who is in charge, who is in power. So yeah, liberation for Bangchan. He cannot wait for this year to be over. He's like, please, enough of these energies, enough of this energy. It's tough being an idol. It's tough. It's tough being an idol. It's tough when you want to build something beautiful, something lasting, and there comes these people. Yes, definitely. He needs this new start, definitely. He deserves it. Okay, I'm going to continue with Ningning, the last one for today. aespa Ningning, let's see, for her. Is Ningning having a solo? I don't know why. I feel like, I want to say solo, but I don't know. I feel like for a lot of for a lot of idols, I do feel like, there's changes. There's something that especially for the Libra idols, it's like for them it's like, oh well, leave me in the group, and they're like, no, we are going to get you out there. Okay. Movement for Ningning, probably for Ningning. If there's a new project or something, you're going to hear about it before the year ends, because it feels like things are on the move already. So I don't think that it's an aespa comeback, but it's something more about her and maybe her individual activities. Okay, for Ningning, Death card, Page of Swords, Six of Swords in the middle, traveling, changes. She's moving. Six of Pentacles, the Chariot, movement. Eight of Wands, action, very fast news. You're going to hear very fast news of her. Is she traveling? Is she going somewhere? I know that some idols are going to Europe for some fashion shows. Yeah, maybe she's like moving over there. She's like, traveling. But yeah, there's a lot of movement, a lot of changes for Ningning. I think that Ningning this year, she had like, I don't want to say a sort of glow up, but there's something about her, she's like, I'm not that young child anymore. I'm somehow transforming. I'm not going to hush anymore. I'm going to say what I want to say, and I'm going to state what I want to state, and no one is going to hush me. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. I'm going to connect and just talk to people, and I'm not going to apologize for anything. I think that it feels like very courageous, but also maybe, there's something, I don't know how old Ningning is, but there's something about her personality changing into, being this very young person to maybe turning into a more powerful woman. I think that she's like, things that I have done in the past, or maybe being more like sweet and understanding, and just like, oh, well, yes, I understand. Yeah, now, not anymore. She's like, no, no, and now I'm speaking up. I'm speaking up, and you're going to hear me. You're going to hear me. Yeah, the Six of Swords, changes, movement. I think that there's greater things coming for Ningning. Greater things. She's like liberating herself finally. I don't know if she's like getting a sort of permission from SM to travel, to I don't know, to move and do business somewhere else, because it feels like, finally I'm liberating from maybe certain, like, it could be some laws, or certain papers or contracts that were, tying her to certain things, or not allowing her to do some certain things. um, because I do see like a new contract or something that she's going to acquire with maybe a brand, or maybe, another company, or, it is for the improvement of her image, and also is really positive. She's going to keep advancing. Is Ningning the actor coming? Is she an actress? That she ever show interest? Did she ever show interest in acting? I think that is looking very prestigious. It's looking good. The future is looking good. It's looking very like golden. It's very abundant. It's full of positivities, possibilities, and positivity as well. And also, I think that they are going to treat her like a queen. There's something about her being welcomed. Wherever she goes, it's like, she's going to be treated like a queen. And yeah, the Eight of Wands action, I think that you're going to hear about it, or someone is going to, leak it, or is going to leak certain information. But the Eight of Wands is like, it's coming fast for us. So yeah, be ready to hear about it. But yeah, Ningning has matured. She has matured. She has transformed herself. Um, I think that there's something about her changing also the way she communicates, and I think that this is something that I have been saying for certain Libra idols, especially the girls, maybe in this industry, it's difficult to speak up. Maybe for someone that we are reading this, or I'm reading this, and you are watching, and we're like, oh, why doesn't she speak up? If she is, if she is part of the group, why doesn't she, ask for what she wants? It's not that easy. There's certain protocols, there's certain hierarchies, there's a lot of power play, I would say. So sometimes even if you speak, they don't listen. So in the case of Wingwin, I think that maybe she proved, I don't, it's not about proving her worth, because she always had been, amazing. It's just that she has maybe proven that, I don't know if her image has changed, if the way she communicates to the fans has changed, but maybe her appeal, or her ability to show her, show, like, to, show herself, and people being like, wow, I'm a fan of hers, because she had a change, she has a transformation. Like, maybe in the past I wasn't paying attention to her, but now Ningning is all I see. Ningning has grew on me, or I discovered Ningning. I used to be, my bias used to be this member, and now I see Ningning, and I'm like, my bias is Ningning now. So I think that she was able to show improvement in her influence. She's like, I'm ready for the changes. I deserve them. Maybe also the company, maybe they gave her a specific lapse of time, like we give you certain amount of time for you to change these things about yourself, or for you to show improvement, or for you to grow on certain areas. And she had passed them all. She had passed them all. Actually, I think that she had, like, maybe even given to the company more than what they expected of her. Maybe they were like, well, yeah, we know that she can do better, but she actually did so much better. Like it's different. Like the level of like change that she did this year is incredible. Is incredible. And maybe if you are fans of Ningning, maybe you know about her more than me. So if you notice this, please leave it in the comments. But yeah, I do see, like, there's a lot of generous opportunities for her. I love it. I love it. I think that this probably, the end of the year is going to be very busy for her. I see her moving or traveling, so probably she's not going to be able to rest that much. But I think that these are important times for her, and people are watching her, or maybe they are waiting for her. So it's nice. It's nice that she's been appreciated, and she's been chosen, and that people are paying attention to her. Oh, not this one. Okay, guys. This was all for today. Thank you so much for everyone that has joined, that you're watching. Thank you so much for the recommendations. Let's see if I see you on Wednesday, and if you know, if I still am in this same place, or if I move, I don't know. It depends. There's a lot of remodelation still to do, but yeah, let's see. Let's see how we do things. But yeah, guys, I wish you a great start of the week. Let's keep our energies up. Let's keep this positivity, and let's enjoy ourselves a bit more, and let's not stress that much. So yeah, I will see you on Wednesday. Okay. Have a lovely day. Bye.